Hello everyone, welcome to CyberScoop TV. This is Greg Otto, your managing editor, and we're coming from the floor of the 2017 RSA conference. And I'm talking with Joshua Douglas, the CTO of Raytheon Foreground Security. Josh, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So, you guys just had a big piece of news last week. Talk to us about this contract where you're going to be providing services for the electrical grid.
Yeah, so, as the Chief Strategy Officer of Raytheon Foreground, we've been working together with Utilidata in the last several months to formulate what we believe to be game-changing, right? And that's really bringing together the OT and the IT side of the house together.
Okay.
So our cybersecurity expertise and their operational technology expertise. And we'll be working with the customers, and we're still molding this relationship fully, and we're able to offer the multitude of these services to the customer today. And that's really around our DFIR, our digital forensics and incident response. It's also around our cyber assessments, and also our VSOC, and all three of those things make up our managed detection and response capability.
Okay.
And we're pulling in information from the operational technology side and their expertise too in understanding the electrical grid.
Okay, great. Talk to me a little bit about how you see the threats evolving when it comes to the electrical grid, because even this morning, the chairman of the House Homeland Security Commission, Mike McCall, talked about a meeting that he had with Admiral Mike Rogers, talking about how he sees the electrical grid being a very big problem when it comes to an attack vector. So kind of talk to me about how you see the threats advancing and what Raytheon is going to do in the future to help combat those threats.
I mean, so Raytheon has a huge interest in actually securing our critical infrastructure, and the utility space happens to be one of those.
Okay.
And it's an important one, right? Because it affects all of us. Everybody uses power from day to day. So as far as it is evolving, I wouldn't say that our threats have necessarily evolved tremendously. It's often that we're not evolving as quickly. Right?
Okay.
And so that's really where some of our cybersecurity expertise, along with the OT side, and actually bringing those together makes sense. Because I think what you're finding is the operational technology side, people are trying to secure, that OT environment with IT security-based practices, and really haven't gone the extra step to start to understand the business impact that it plays. And that could be in critical infrastructure within the utility space, or it could be someplace else as well.
Okay, interesting. Another thing I'd like to talk about is threat hunting. Talk to me about how important it is for enterprises to have this way to sort of think like a hacker and move into an offensive, not an offensive capability, but really understand how they are being attacked and how Raytheon's threat hunting allows them to do that.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. I mean, it's definitely not offensive nature. What it is truly being proactive in the approach. So today, when we find managed security services or even security teams as a whole, what you're finding is they're basically responding to alerts, right, firing off. And the expectation is basically the product companies and threat intelligence pieces are all going to give them the right information. The point of the matter is that if they don't align themselves to the business and actually understanding how the business works, they're not going to be able to identify everything. So with the proactive threat hunting, we actually go into the environment. We look for activities that are related to the business and the business impact, and look for abnormalities that occur through that. That's a combination between our patented technology and also, the people, the very smart people that we have on the other side that are threat hunters. And it's a very acute skill that we look for and actually build out.
So you talked about business impact there. Let's talk about what you're seeing as far as your customers, and are they realizing that they need to have more of a risk-based perspective when it comes to cybersecurity?
Yeah. So I think organizations that have some security posture already are realizing that risk-based approach is important. Many people that have been in the compliance market for a long time, checking the box, are realizing that's not necessarily securing.
Right.
Go look at any one of the attacks that have occurred lately, and I can guarantee you almost any one of those individuals have already been in the market where they've had to do compliance-based security. And they're finding in order to combat the threats, they have to pay attention to the risks associated with it as well, which is why I think you're starting to see a shift from the reactive mode to a proactive posture.
So there is a lot that has gone on in the past year when it comes to cybersecurity, and a lot of this with having businesses disrupted and hackers stealing data. A lot of this is pessimistic. So I've been asking people, what is there to be optimistic about in cybersecurity?
Well, I think there is a lot to be optimistic about. I mean, we're seeing a lot of new technologies coming out, right? They're related to mathematics and actually doing machine learning. that is assisting us, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily going to complete us, which is why we need to focus more time and effort and training and pushing in people into that process as well, right? Because there's people on the other side.
Right.
I would also say that because we're starting to pay attention to this and we're making this shift from compliance to risk, our mindsets are changing. We're actually delivering security in a new way, and it's actually exciting to me. So, much like the financial industry,
okay,
they started shifting to a risk-based model to understand acceptance, and so we're starting to do that as well. So, it's like the human immune system. You're not ever going to eliminate the badness in the world, but you can help bolster the immune system so you can recover much quicker. Right. And I think that we're actually getting to that point.
Awesome. Josh, appreciate your insight. Thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it.
For all of our videos, check out our YouTube channel, and for more information on the RSA conference and cybersecurity in general, check out cyberscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.